there's been a bit of a mixed reaction to this documentary, with some saying they absolutely believe the men and some defending Michael Jackson, who, of course, is not here to defend himself. So we all watched it last night. What did you make of it, Nadia?
Well, first of all, I found it a gruelling, absolutely gruelling watch. And I did actually believe every word they said. I believed the allegations. I think you'd have to be a master actor. You should get an Oscar, if not, because
the
that's
bit, though, I don't understand, if it is all true, why 10 years later? Why not 2 years or 3 years after Michael died? I don't get that, really.
Did you believe the boys?
Sort of, but because I couldn't understand why they'd left at 10 years, I sort of didn't believe them at certain points. But the bit... Sorry, Jane, did you watch it?
I did. I'm listening to you.
No, but I was just going to say that the bit that horrified me was actually the mothers, because I couldn't accept the fact that this boy would be in a bedroom with Michael Jackson, and the mother, I can't remember which mother, like what her name was. It wasn't that one, in other words, or the other. And Stephanie, is that her name?
Yes.
Thank you. And but she said, you know, at the beginning, our suite was next door to Michael's, and then gradually our suite was further down the hall, and then gradually our suite was on the floor below. Now, as a mother, if you knew that you were being, she felt that she was being pushed away from Michael's suite, and if you went along to your, if, let's say your child was in this suite, and you said, you're coming with me, and he went, no, I want to stay with Michael, you'd say, sorry, I'm the parent. I just can't believe that she allowed that child to stay there when she had suspicions at that point as to why they were being...
But they were groomed as well.
Of course they were.
I mean, I do agree with you. There were certain parts of it that quite jarred because, you know, and we've all got hindsight goggles on. But I did kind of watch it and think, why would you? I just wouldn't do that as a mother. But one of them was kind of groomed over like a year-long period, you know. And I remember her saying that he came to stay in their house and that, you know,
she started to treat him like a son.
Because he was quite childlike. You know, was he childlike or was he manipulative? You know, that's the argument, isn't it? That's the dilemma.
That the sort of long and insidious way that he worked with the families was almost a masterclass in paedophilia. I mean, I watched every second of it. I was riveted. And I think a lot of what's gone on, and maybe the confusion, is the way that a documentary is edited. So the director would have said to the mums, OK, take us back. How did this all begin? When you first, Michael, said, well, you know, we went, it was just this magical place, this Neverland, we would take... And a good director would take you back to that initial feeling. Of course, then you've got the edit, you're cutting against the men telling their horrific experiences of the actual abuse. And so people are going, how can they be laughing about that? How can they be... I think with hindsight, you would look at that and go, oh, my God, what was I thinking? How did I let them get anything? But when you're there...
They only laughed. They didn't show any remorse or anything.
Well, let's see what part two... I mean, it might be, as Nadia said, that they've almost kind of set them up for that contrast in part one. I don't know, but
then the other question is, why, as adult men, why would they want to talk about that worldwide now, 10 years later?
Well, I don't think you can ask or even answer that question unless you've been a victim of abuse yourself, because I don't think any of us... I don't want to understand. I'm very glad that I'm not in that position, that I understand, and have never been in that position. But I think if you get to a point where you want to tell your story, irrespective of whether the person is still alive or not, you have a right to tell your story.
That little boy, when you think of that little boy, he was 5 years old. Michael Jackson was a god to him. He lived and breathed Michael Jackson. I think we do a disservice to children and to families that have been groomed. It is a thing. It does happen.
I mean, also we need to point out that the right of reply here for the Michael Jackson estate, of course, they're saying these are uncorroborated allegations that the documentary is treating as fact. They also say that Wade Robson and James Safechuck previously spoke in Jackson's defence at his trial, from which, of course, he was acquitted, and have now changed their accounts. They're both trying to sue the estate. A judge has said that you can't sue the estate, can't be held responsible, but both of those lawsuits are under appeal.
So it is money at the end of it all.
Well, there's money in it, but I think it's a very harsh thing to say. I found, listen, I don't know, but I found their narrative very compelling
did
and
I.
very believable.
Well, we'll find out tonight.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, I think tonight will be the second part that we're talking
Yes.
about, that we actually need to see, you know, to make the final. But it was very, very split on social media last night on how people felt.
Well, not
and
on my social media. I felt the majority of people were believing it, actually.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised.
yeah.
I was quite surprised.
Very interesting,
Yeah.
but it certainly got everyone talking
Yeah.
for obvious reasons last night.